Hello, we're at Battersea Arts Centre, where yet more brave artists are gearing up for a new challenge.
According to Matisse, creativity takes great courage.
Or as Nelson Mandela put it, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. However, Nelson Mandela also said meeting the Spice Girls is one of the greatest moments of his life, so let's move swiftly on. Welcome back. It's Portrait Artist of the Year 2020.
Among the artists who've made it to today's heat, 7 are professional. Owen Hunt, Inga Duplessis, Michael Monaghan, Neil O'Driscoll, Michael Shepard, Cara Dunn, and Mark Lawrence.
I could completely balls up. The painting that I'm doing, just some days it just doesn't happen. You know, you're looking for it not to be one of those days.
And 2 are amateur artists. Gina Rden and Ansi Jacob.
I've never done anything nearly like this in my life at all, so quite nerve-wracking.
Whether they're seasoned artists or not, today's 4-hour challenge will push their skills to the limit.
You know when somebody's caught something when they've not. And there's no guarantees. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
They must perfect their portrait of a famous face, down to every last detail.
Blasted ears.
And wow our judges.
You are listening to music when you draw.
I'm just trying to
block us out. And all for the chance to win a £10,000 commission to paint the legendary musician Nile Rodgers for the Royal Albert Hall.
So as the pressure mounts,
it's frightening.
which artist will make it through to the semi-final?
Michael's over there and he's angled his painting towards you. Do you think he's doing that as a tactic?
Oh, definitely.
What I would do is pick up your drawing and just wander by and just wave it in his face and then come and sit down again.
Yeah.
That'll show him.
Before any painting can begin, the artists adjust to their new surroundings, while the judges admire the talent displayed in their submission portraits.
It looks like coloured pencil. It's a very beautifully delicate drawing. Very strange, enchanted feel.
I love the tilt of her head. It's so gentle.
It's very soulful, isn't it?
We sometimes get paintings that give us an immediate narrative, and I'm seeing sort of Second World War fighter pilot. The bravura to run that black across the face like that with such confidence really impresses me.
I love the way in which she's used colour. It's so limited, that yellowy green and then the beautiful brown, just suggesting the wooden floorboards.
I think the way that he's managed to capture these very slight modulations in tone and colour on the face is really excellent.
The light here today is quite cold, so it'll be interesting to see if those warm tones work with his sitter today.
It's very rare that we get smiling portraits that seem to, make sense and we believe the joy in them.
The treatment of that fabric, that's just masterful. I feel like I can run my fingers over that and I understand the embroidery.
I don't think we've ever had a submission that takes over the entire canvas.
It's almost got like a serpentine movement in it, so you travel across the canvas in that sort of S shape. So it's sort of a three-dimensionality to it.
I love this fantastic burnt orange that comes from the back and then finds its way into the face, and just the peculiarity of it.
If you're trying to make a self-portrait that stands out, I think putting a bird on your head certainly works.
Now here you get a very direct look.
Yeah, he seems quite surprised to find himself looking back at himself in the mirror. We have a lot of people staring deeply into their souls. You get that blank look, whereas he is really engaging here.
I think this is fantastic. The sort of strange contortion of this cross-legged figure.
It really packs a punch, doesn't it? The angles, if you look in the glasses, the way in which he's built up that sense of shadow.
Well, we shall see them all in action today.
With the artists all set for the challenge, It's time to reveal which 3 famous faces they'll be painting.
Artists, your sitter today first waltzed onto our screens over a decade ago. With a keen eye for judging artistic talent, he'll certainly have some thoughts on yours. Please welcome Len Goodman.
As a world-class ballroom dancer, Len won multiple competitions before spending 12 years as the head judge of Strictly Come Dancing.
Have a seat.
Oh, you know, the biggest struggle is I cannot sit still.
Oh, are you a fidgeter?
Well, I'm a dancer, so I like to gyrate.
Well, gyrate away. You don't mind a little bit of gyration, do you?
No.
I would smile because I am a smiler.
Right.
Yeah, let me sort
'Cause
of...
it is
I'm just
hot.
practising my face at the moment.
OK.
No, that's...
No, that looks like we need to call a doctor.
Yeah. Oh, I can't help it. I'm going to
Dangerous.
sit nicely and do my utmost to sit still.
Very good.
Artists, your sitter is famous for playing strong female roles on stage and screen. Indeed, she was made a dame for her services to drama. Please welcome the wonderful Dame Harriet Walter. From Cleopatra to Lady Macbeth and Fanny Dashwood to Clementine Churchill, Dame Harriet's acting career has spanned over 3 decades. So these roles are extraordinary, aren't they? Are they very taxing emotionally?
I like them to be taxing. I like roles to be very different from who I am, which is your challenge, whether you paint who I really am or something of the persona of the characters I play.
So that's quite a challenge, isn't it?
Artists, your sitter today was a pioneer of UK rap. He's a singer, a songwriter, and now a fashion guru, all by the age of 30. It's the very talented Tiny Temper.
After his debut single, Pass Out, shot to #1, Tiny Temper has won 2 Brit Awards and has played every major festival from Glastonbury to Coachella.
And begin.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
You're home for the day. Are you good at singing still?
Apparently it's 4 hours, right?
4 hours,
Yes,
yeah.
I've practiced at home.
Have you?
Yeah, in front of the telly.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Something real, I guess. I just turned 30, so I think that's why I wanted to do it. See if I still look the same.
Artists, do you have any particular way you'd like Tiny to sit?
I'd be quite happy to pose this way.
Looking that way.
Good.
That might be a little bit tricky. Is that too
Definitely
profile
trouble.
for you?
Probably just move the face to a little bit towards the centre.
So shall I just keep rotating my head back?
So, first of all, how are you thinking of sitting?
I chose wide-leg trousers so I could be very comfortable.
Yes.
Probably be doing head and shoulders.
You mean I needn't have worn my lovely trousers?
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. And good luck to you.
Cheers.
Artists, it's time to find whether all that practicing paid off.
You have 4 hours to create your portraits. Good luck. Your time starts now.
While most artists get straight to mapping out their ideas on paper and canvas, one is spending her time simply staring at her sitter. Cara, when you began, you sat and looked at Len for quite a long time without doing anything.
I was just kind of taking in the face, because obviously it's the first time you've actually seen it in person. Taking in the pattern of the tones and the shadow. And,
I thought it indicated great self-possession. 25-year-old Cara Dunn is a professional artist from Dublin who splits her time between painting and playing music in a folk band. Her self-portrait took over 2 weeks to paint from a photograph taken while she was waiting to wash dye out of her hair. Because of your submission, you're known to us as Cara the Hare.
Yeah, living up to my
And
name.
yes,
there.
you haven't let us down. That's pretty cool.
You haven't.
Tell us a bit about Len as a sitter. He's smiling. Does that make it easier, difficult?
It's lovely to get a smiling sitter. When the face relaxes, it can go really sad looking, so it's lovely to get this very happy expression.
Well, you're very relaxed, I must say. Whatever happens is going to happen.
Yeah, it'll happen. If it happens, it happens.
One of the skills of creating a convincing portrait is the ability to adjust to the sitter's movements throughout the day.
At the start, it was quite hard for Tiny to be still. He was just trying to get comfortable. But now he's starting to feel more relaxed in his own world, which is kind of what I want in the drawing. I really like Tiny, actually, like his music. I might be listening to some music later whilst I'm working. Might help me calm down a bit.
Michael Shepard is completing a Master's in Fine Art at Nottingham University. He painted James Purefoy in last year's Portrait Artist of the Year and loves using fine liner pens, as in his self-portrait, which he drew in a local coffee shop.
Michael, well, you've got off to a flying start.
Yeah, I just hope I keep going.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
And I love the fact you have such a style of your own. Do you do that deliberately, or is that just the way it comes out?
I think it's just the way it comes out. I tend to go, out in the city and just draw people, even if they're not looking at me. I'll just.
Oh, you don't ask for permission.
No,
you
just do it.
Sneakily draw.
Just draw it. You can get away with it sometimes, but one time that person had a go at me on the bus for drawing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do they say?
They just said, can you not draw me, please?
Maybe something was going on. You'd uncovered a spy or someone having an affair.
I'm amazed, Michael, to see you setting out your profile with just one colour, grey, but of course that's not how it's going to end up, is it?
No, if it ends up like this, something's gone very, very wrong.
So how does it differ from what you would normally do?
I like starting just have a fleshy blob with some purple and some brunette hair on top.
OK, but we're going to have the fleshy blob later on.
Yeah, there's always an element of fleshy blob for that.
30-year-old Michael Monaghan is a professional artist from West Lothian. He wanted his self-portrait to combine his scruffy look with a more vulnerable pose, created by the tilt of his head. It took 16 hours to paint.
Well, it's a beautiful sketch already. It's got a very kind of romantic quality to it. Do you ever look at your sketches and think, oh, that was sort of a strange thing that happened there and I've got to retain that? Or...
It really annoys me when that happens.
Yeah.
I don't like anything that happens by accident. Folk telling you, I really like this flourish of paint in the background there, and you're like, I was cleaning my brush, so maybe if you focus on all the stuff I meant today, that would be much nicer.
Hi, Jean. You've made yourself at home. What have you got there? Raspberries?
Yeah.
Cotton buds?
They are for blending pencil.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that red putty stuff?
You can kind of dab it on it. It'll take off a little bit of pencil.
And how many pencils do you need? You've got about 40,000.
I know.
16-year-old Gina Rden is studying for her final exams at school in Cork. She uses Japanese Copic markers, which she blends to create interesting colour palettes. Her self-portrait was completed in a day and was intended to reflect her calm personality.
How are you coping with all the crowds?
It's really interesting because I've never had people watch me work before. I'm usually just working on my own in my room.
What about your competitors? Are you keeping an eye on?
It's a bit intimidating, all right.
Well, Michael's over there and he's angled his painting towards you. Do you think he's doing that as a tactic?
Oh, definitely.
What I would do is pick up your drawing and just wander by and just wave it in his face and then come and sit down again.
Yeah.
That'll show him.
The artists have nearly reached the 1 hour mark.
It's all right so far, yeah. You have to really get the measurements right, but Not too bad. Not a disaster yet, anyway. Early days.
You can overwork the shadow because Tiny's moving, so it can be quite confusing to work out where it's going to go. I say it looks like Tiny, but I don't know.
You know when somebody's caught somebody when they've not. And there's no guarantees. There's no magic, this is how you capture somebody's likeness. There's just this like ineffable quality of somebody sat in front of you. And you don't know if you got it until it's done. So I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Here at Battersea Arts Centre, our 9 artists have had 1 hour painting sitters Harriet Walter, Len Goodman and Tiny Temper. One artist is feeling so inspired by their subject, she's racing ahead.
He's lovely to paint, and the light on his face is beautiful. And I think just especially with the kind of bright top that he's wearing, that would look really nice composed in a bottom corner like this. Partly I'm nervous that it could be a complete mess then, but it's such a luxury to just sit and do this.
Inga Duplessis is a professional artist from Maidenhead. She painted Ben Ockery in Portrait Artist of the Year 2017 and loves taking risks in her work. She called her self-portrait The Woman Who Stood Still for Too Long, as a reflection on her life turning 50.
Inga, with the self-portrait, your head was larger than life size.
Yes.
And it's filled with symbolism. Will you be reacting to the background, or will you find out what symbolism could be appropriate for today?
I feel like today I'll respond to the background a little bit. I love the way the lines respond to this kind of block of light. It'll hopefully create a kind of energy and attention in the painting.
Did you have a chance to sort of chat to him and get a sense of him?
Not
or
really.
did the headphones go in
The
straight away?
headphones went in quite early on.
But maybe during the day you can wrench them out of his
I
ears
think-
and force a conversation.
I think so.
Owen, how are you doing?
Not too bad, actually. It's taken quite an interesting direction, I think.
He's quite fidgety as a sitter. Is that bothering you?
There's a lot of movement going on here, I think. I'm trying to really get that urgency down, and I'm hoping to just tie it down at the end with a few details.
Yeah, so you're incorporating that movement.
Yeah, exactly.
25-year-old Owen Hunt is a professional artist who took up art full-time after completing an economics degree. He used a palette knife to create texture in his self-portrait, which took several months to complete.
You from an artistic family?
My dad's pretty artistic.
Have you got any brothers and sisters?
I've got 9. I got 7 brothers and 2 sisters.
It's a bit greedy, isn't it? Where do you come in that?
Number 3 in age.
What does that mean?
It means number 1.
That's number 1 in art. They're going to love you for that. Are they here today?
They're not actually here today.
That's why you can get away with saying stuff like that.
Not all artists are focused on capturing a likeness from the start. Some wait for it to emerge over time.
The likeness is coming on, I think, slowly. I think I've sort of got the eyes. Once you have them, I think the person becomes alive. Yeah. Once the eyes are there, I'm happy.
Ancy Jacob is an amateur artist who lives in Middlesex. Since taking evening classes at Chelsea Art School, she now paints regularly and painted her self-portrait for her husband's birthday as a surprise present.
And so you've got a very angelic-looking sitter there. And you must be pleased with that because your submission was a great exercise in smiling faces.
Yeah.
So if he'd have been sat there doing grumpy face, Len, today...
I would have still paid grumpy face, yeah.
I don't know if he's got one.
But it's quite unusual in portrait painting to see people with a smile. I think we're going to need little sort of matchsticks or something to keep Len up here by the end of today, I think.
I'll just go give him a little tickle.
Yeah.
All the backdrops behind our sitters are inspired by a famous painter and their work. Which artists are we celebrating today?
We're celebrating the French fauve artist Henri Matisse. So we're looking at his interest in birds. So we have the bird cage behind us, his love of textiles, and the work that he did with paper cutouts in his later years.
Tiny as a sitter?
Doesn't stop moving. And it's only tiny little bits. But that's what's very difficult for the artist to capture. They're trying to get a sense of him. He's plugged in, and it's making him fidget.
And you can see that he's listening to music.
Yeah.
I've been trying my best not to look at any of the portraits. I just don't want to put the artist under any extra pressure. It's almost like a teacher walking past and looking at your answers and just shaking their head. You might be thrown off a little bit.
So this lovely turquoise behind Len, where's that from?
So it's actually taken from a tablecloth that was very instrumental for Matisse. He was on a bus, he saw it in the window, fell in love with it, and then uses it in his paintings for 30 years. And that's where this set comes from.
So how's Len getting on? He's gone for a grin.
He's really putting his heart and soul into it. I think we'll get something quite lively and charming that says something about him as a man.
I'm fascinated by the people going by in the hope that I'll get some idea of what they think of the paintings. And no, they're just bland. Which they buck up a bit and go, oh, lovely.
What is Harriet like as a sitter?
Rather marvellous. I would like to paint her.
Would you?
Yeah. She's got...
Wonderfully strong face.
Strong face, beautiful hair. Sorry, somehow her hair's got to me. And that beautiful colour she's chosen to wear, which sort of really works well with the background. It creates a kind of tension between Harriet and these beautiful blocks of colour, and I'm hoping the artist will use that.
I can see out of the corner of my eye the odd thing, but it's much better not to look, and sort of vaguely imagining what they're doing and sort of thinking, how am I ever going to judge which one I like best?
I think I'm getting there. The essence of how I'm seeing Harriet at the moment. There's an air of peacefulness to her and her gaze, so I'm trying to capture that, but still needs to be worked on.
Mark Lawrence became a professional artist after a career as an outreach support worker with the local housing association. He initially felt he looked a bit gormless in his self-portrait, so he changed his expression to one of mild surprise. Well, Mark, is it a good thing to have the side face, the profile?
It's okay, I don't mind really, and it's one less eye to paint as well. So.
One less eye. This area, you got absolutely right. The ratio of the eye to the nose. That's very characteristic, isn't it?
Nice to know. At least I know I've got that bit right. I've got it sorted out.
You're not allowed to give...
I won't say anything, but I love it.
Because you're not allowed, she's a judge, I'm allowed to comment.
Judge, yes, indeed. Right, if you can come back in half an hour, tell me if I've got the ear right.
OK, Neil, you're nearly finished. You've got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
You've got another engagement.
Yeah, I'm really hungry. I skipped breakfast.
Do you always work this quickly?
I do to begin with. I start with blue pencil and then charcoal to just get the structure
You get
right.
the architecture.
That's it.
So I'm picking up the odd word here or there from my judges.
Dubliner Neil O'Driscoll is a professional artist who dabbles in theatre design and illustration. His self-portrait was drawn in charcoal and pastel and took 18 hours to complete.
Tell me about your fantastic self-portrait. What prompted the dress?
I wanted to do a full-length portrait that had legs and arms. I had just come back from holiday, so I wanted to show off my tan. And then I wanted to do something quite classical, but a bit subversive maybe as well.
We could ask Len to get in a dress.
Yeah.
You would do that. Would you get in a dress for us, Len?
Well, a va-va skirt and a boob tube, probably.
There you go. Have you waxed in all the appropriate places?
I'm fully thonged up and ready to go.
He's manscaped. He's ready.
OK, let's do it.
It's nearly halfway through the competition. And some artists are struggling to pace themselves.
I've painted quite furiously the first 2 hours. I'm not 100% sure if I've captured the likeness that I'm after. So at the moment, we're at that stage.
nice viscous paint going on, starting to work into some of the forms, give it a bit of depth and a bit of character. I want it to be a living, breathing portrait.
I'm struggling a little bit with the lower jaw, just to make it in proportion. But just paint, 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 and not to panic.
We're 2 hours into the day's painting competition, where sitters Tiny Temper, Len Goodman and Harriet Walter are inspiring both artists and the public.
Are you drawing Tiny here? This is a very good beard. Who's your favourite at the moment?
Probably Harriet. She has lots of different lines and it's interesting to draw.
Yeah, I agree totally. Have you done Len as well? Very good. How many times have you been round?
Probably about 3.
3 times. It's very good.
So with a new wave of budding artists hot at their heels, how do the judges think today's competitors are getting on?
Halfway through, and artists really working hard.
Taking it very seriously, all of them, I think.
We have 3 artists painting a smiling Len.
Neil's caught that very well in his pastels, but it doesn't chime with what he gave us in his submission, which was very contemporary.
Because it's quite pretty at the moment.
Yeah.
If we could just rough it up a little bit, we could have a really strong contender.
I think Neil, Antsy and Clara have really benefited from knowing Len already, especially Antsy. And I just love the way that Antsy's so in control. It's almost like she's got a whip on the watercolour.
Painting Tiny, he's got a very neat beard. Does that present any difficulties for painters?
Well, funny enough, Michael, in his drawing, has found an anchor in Tiny's beard. My only problem is that Michael's made the head so large that the head dominates and there's not enough space even for the hands.
Next to him, Owen is very confident. Should he be?
He's trying to show the very best of his abilities to us in a broad range of artistic styles.
Inga earlier on was quite loose. She's adding in more details.
Yeah, I think she's got a really interesting combination of something which is really serene. I love the way that she uses scale and colour.
I think Inga's certainly got a presence. My problem is the background, that over sort of powering orangey red.
I like it.
I think there's just too much of it.
Harriet sitting rather beautifully, I think.
She's a gift. I mean,
Yeah.
Michael has found something from another age. It's almost like this gothic person that he's managed to capture.
Well, we're into the second half of the day. Can those who've made a good start see it home? And can those who perhaps have started in a rocky fashion turn it around?
Let's hope so. Yeah.
I've looked at my own face quite a lot. I've been photographed and been filmed. I feel free to accept a completely different image of me. In fact, that would be quite interesting. You're usually stared at for a long time by somebody who loves you, and not total strangers.
Neil is what they call a peaker. There he's gone, look at him. Hey! Now, Antsy, she's very methodical. Think it's going to be nice and neat and lovely. Now, Cara, you don't get any clues from her face. She's just like that, and look, oh, yeah. Anything else? Go on, ask me some more, because it gets boring sitting here all on your own.
I'm trying to be like a really good sitter, but I'm trying not to overthink it. So I'm listening to quite a lot of music, gently nodding to the beat. But I think I've been a pretty good sitter.
Whether it's your job to sit still or to paint, using headphones seems to be popular with sitters and artists alike.
You are listening to music when you draw, or
I'm
is
not
that
actually
silent?
listening to music at the
Oh,
moment.
interesting.
I'm just trying to
block us out.
block out all the noise as well, because it helped me focus.
I noticed you had some headphones on. What were you listening to?
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Sorry, I thought you said King Lizard and the Izzard Wizard.
And the Gizzard, no, I'm
Gizzard
getting it wrong
Lizards.
now as well. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, yes, that's it.
So, what's to do?
get a little bit more detail in here, kind of working on the eyes again, and then bring up the skin tones too. I've forgotten the question there.
No, don't worry, it wasn't that interesting. I'd get on with painting. Don't listen to me, I don't know what I'm talking about.
To help cope with the pressure of the day, some of our artists have friends and family nearby for support and advice.
Oh, that eye's all right. Is that one...
Slightly wonky, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you fix that?
Yeah, maybe I can.
It's really good, though.
How do you think Anne's coping today?
I think she's been incredibly nervous, but luckily for my mum, she's someone that thrives under pressure and always has done, so I'm hoping she's channeling that energy.
So you keep sneaking up to her to give advice?
Yeah, pep talks. You got this.
The artists have just 30 minutes left to complete their portraits.
Before, I was really urgent, but now I've kind of made all the marks I want to make. I'm just going to have to see how it goes.
It's frightening to go and add little bits of detail because it could go away if you messed with it.
I have like a stare in the eyes that I kind of wanted to get. It's just really nice seeing it all come together.
Still getting details right, mostly doing the colour. And the ear. Blasted ears.
We're into the final stages of our artists' 4-hour challenge painting sitters Harriet Walter, Len Goodman and Tiny Temper.
Which sections are you concentrating on?
Trying to get a bit of the darkest darks and lightest lights in, cobble this into a painting before the final whistle.
Artists, you have 5 minutes to go.
Get out. I thought there was a half-hour mark. I'm quite nervous now.
Not done. Don't know whether to do the shirt or leave it.
Not as perfect as I would have wanted it, actually, but there's not enough time to go back into it just now and change it. That would be foolish.
Artists, your time is up.
Put down your equipment and stand away from your easels.
After sitting still for 4 hours, the time has finally arrived when Harriet, Tiny and Len get to see their completed portraits and choose one to take home.
Len, what a great sitter you've been. You kept that grin going all day.
No, I haven't seen these
You
at
haven't
all.
looked?
I've not had a sneaky peek.
OK,
nothing.
that's good. Artists, can you please turn your easels?
I could pickle me walnuts. Wow.
Let's have a closer look.
This is a tango. It's got mood, and it's got atmosphere, and it's got a bit of passion about it. You could have given me a bit more hair, but other than that, I think it's brilliant. This would be a waltz.
Oh.
Because it's got control, and it's got an elegance about it, and I think you've got my eyes beautifully. You've got that little cheeky smile. And you know what? This is a cheeky cha-cha-cha. And it's got lovely shading, and I think it's terrific. You know, the thing is, this will hang in my home for not long, because I'm getting on a bit. It will hang in my son's home for a long, long time. And I think the one that he would like is Neil. Well done. Well done to you.
Well, Harriet, that's the end of your portrait painting hours.
It flew by.
So, artists, will you please turn round your easels?
They're amazing, all of them. You're absolute geniuses. For someone who never met me before, that's got my expression brilliantly. The eyes are brilliant. I'd like to just cut them out and take them home. It's very flattering. I look about 30 years younger. I think the skin tones are very good. It reminds me of my mother.
That's very nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This is stunning. The hair's totally brilliant.
It's almost as though she's done it hair by hair.
Yep.
Well, now, Harriet.
This is totally impossible. What do I do? I think I'll go with that one. That was so dedicated. That's so
So, artists, please turn your easels.
Wow.
You couldn't get 3 more different portraits.
No,
The
you
same
really
person,
couldn't, you
could
know? You really, really couldn't. This is amazing. I really like the layers on the paint, especially on the face, because I feel like it shows a bit of mystery. I really like that.
You look very noble in this one.
I know, I look very, very noble. I like all the traces of kind of like red coming through. I really love it, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
The shading is incredible. This is like the most abstract one, and that's what makes it really, really interesting to me. I really, really like it. Do I have to choose now?
I'm afraid you do.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. I think I'm gonna go for Owen. Nice one, thank you.
Whilst the artists take a moment to relax, the judges are left alone with the portraits.
Michael's drawing of Tiny Temper is like an organic little plant, a cactus. It's got sort of spiky energy to it.
I like these little shrunken shoulders.
This is a confident piece of picture making.
Inga really caught a sort of sensitive nobility.
It does feel like very much a painting of today. There was a dynamic quality to Tiny.
But I do think Owen sort of built a likeness with his tiny little pieces of paint in the face.
Cara's painting of Len today is a different sort of painting, but I like its sort of chalky tones. It's got a gravitas, which is appealing.
Antsy has done something really sensitive here, I think.
I just wish we could have kept Antsy here for another few hours because I'd love to see that richness of colour.
This is a formidable pastel sketch Neil did of Len today.
What I do think he's captured really well is that sense of Len the showman.
Jean has a similar quality in this as she did for her submission, which is almost like a fairy tale image.
But it's quite amazing what she managed to achieve in the time.
Oh,
I didn't
absolutely.
think that she'd get that intensity.
Michael started the day very well with that very dry, misty drawing, but I'm still waiting for it to take off, and it just hasn't happened.
Mark managed to capture Harriet's earnest focus, but a lot of the problem sits in the jaw.
But I must say, the construction of it is very well thought through.
First, the judges have to get the 9 down to 3.
Let's have a look. I think these 3.
I like these 3.
Which 3?
The 3 in the middle.
Actually, the 3 in the middle.
Yeah.
So then, do we think that we can find a winner in here?
I feel like I still don't know who my winner is with these 3, which is where I like to be at this point.
OK.
OK.
After much deliberation, the judges have chosen a short list of 3. The first artist is Owen Hunt.
The second artist is Neil O'Driscoll.
The third artist to be shortlisted is Inga Duplessis.
I think I loved it so much, but I wish I had prepared a bit more. I might apply again, I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
3 artists left. Looking first of all at Owen. How did he do?
Well, I think he adapted his style very well. There are certain questions when it came to the hand or the arm that the shorthand he used wasn't quite effective.
But it's a very interesting painting of Tiny. He feels quite magisterial sitting there. And I do love this bravura which he paints in the birdcage behind him, and he really uses those red lines to anchor a lot of the tones in the face.
Now, Neil's submission, it's an incredible painting. Len looks very orthodox. He's got his own clothes on.
I did try to get him in a dress, but he wasn't having it.
I love the eccentricity of Neil's self-portrait. And then you've got the portrait today of Len, which does capture a sense of Len, the performer. The question in my mind is whether it's too sweet, it's too much colour.
I think that what Neil did was really captured this sort of quite gentle smile, as if he's just put his mouth in that position, and that was a real sort of tour de force.
How about Inga?
I think Inga managed to get a sense of the way in which Tiny was sitting, and I think she's got a real sense of his weight.
And also, Inga's skill, I think, lies in creating a drama in the way she places a head or Tiny's body in space. I really like it.
Well, there we go. So we factor in their self-portraits, their work today, their potential. We spin you around 3 times, and a winner pops out. Yes.
Owen, Neil, Inga, you've each done enormously well to attract the attention of the judges among such talent. However,
The artists that the judges have selected displayed an interesting and dynamic approach to composition and scale. And that artist is Inga Duplessis.
I'm delighted. I'm very surprised. I truly did not expect to win. I just had so much fun. I really enjoyed it. So I'm delighted to have won on top of that.
I think Inga's portrait is fantastic. It really gets him, but it's unconventional as well. Yeah, I think it's terrific.
The winning portrait was very striking. Inga made such a great start, it actually spurred me on, and I had my eye on it all day, but she got there in the end. So.
Inga really, really delivered. She took the sort of fidget of Tiny and added it in with that vibrant, bold colour, and actually what you got was a serene portrait in a vibrant setting. It was just perfect.
It's enormously encouraging that the judges actually felt that my work was worth it. So I am just kind of gobsmacked that I won. It's wonderful.